Alright, so it's been a minute since I actually talked about Sarada Uchiha on my channel. If you haven't noticed already, I've been talking a lot about Boruto and Kawaki's character, but I definitely do think it's time to maybe start shifting over to my other favorite character of Boruto, and that's gotta be Sarada, man. And I'm not gonna hold you, it's been a minute since we last seen Sarada contribute to the main plotline. The last main thing she's done, at least in terms of the focus around her, was her using Chidori on Boro. Now of course she's had some screen time after that, but it's mostly been dialogue. If you want to include the spar with Team 7, that's fine, but at least in terms of her contributing to the main plotline, it's been exactly 2 years since she's actually done that in the Boruto manga. As mentioned before, her using Chidori against Boro was in Boruto chapter 42, and at the time of this recording there has been 66 chapters of the Boruto manga released, and it's been 24 chapters since she's had that main contribution. So for today's video, I'm just going to be discussing on what's next for Sarada Uchiha and what she can do right now for the plot line. But before we go into that, make sure you like and subscribe, join the Discord, link is in the description for that. And also I do want to say, before I go more in depth with Sarada's character, I do gotta get one thing off my chest right now, and it's not talking about Sarada as a character, but about her design. Forget what the anime does, I think her anime design is cool, but yo, we gotta talk about the manga design. She is 12 years old, why the hell is she wearing high heels? Like, I remember popping off when I saw Sarada use Chidori in the manga, but what confused me at the same time is when she did that shit in high heels. Like, bro, get that shit out of here, man. Dude, she's 12 years old. If you're gonna give her that type of design, maybe you should save that for the time skip. Please, just change the design, man. Let's actually talk about what Sarada can do right now in the plotline. So, of course, after Boruto chapter 66, we did see Kawaki impale his brother right through the chest, and it does look like Boruto is going to die. If it hasn't happened already, it probably will happen by next Boruto chapter. And with this happening, with the possibility that Boruto is going to die, I think it's going to be beneficial for Boruto to stay dead for a while. I think if you kill Boruto off, this allows other characters, especially in Boruto's generation, to have some more inputs in the main plotline, especially with Sarada and Mitsuki. When you look at Boruto's contemporaries, at least in the manga storyline, the only characters that really push the plot, at least in terms of the good guys from Konoha, is Boruto, Kawaki, Naruto, and Sasuke. And with that being said, with Boruto basically being dead, I know there has been a lot of discussion on how Boruto will resurrect, since we do know that Boruto is alive in the time skip because he is telling everything as a flashback that led up to that time skip moment between Teen Boruto and Teen Kawaki. So I do want to say that Boruto will eventually come back some way, somehow, maybe through Jogan resurrection, through another Karma seal, maybe Momoshiki heals him. But I do want to say that I hope with Boruto resurrecting, I hope it just doesn't happen next chapter. I think it would be cooler if it happens later down in the line, allowing other characters in Boruto's generation to step up in the main storyline. Sort of like how Dragon Ball does it, Boruto does borrow a lot of concepts from Dragon Ball, and like in Dragon Ball when Goku was killed off in the Saiyan saga, it allowed the Z fighters to step up like a Gohan, like a Piccolo, and the rest of the cast, right? So if you kill off Boruto, it will push and raise the new gen to actually step up in the plotline, and especially if Sarada and Mitsuki hear about Boruto's death, I definitely do think there would be some sort of reaction that could be very controversial. And now I do want to give my thoughts on people saying that Sarada will unlock her Mangekyou Sharingan upon hearing that Boruto has died. So let me just tell you how I feel about that. Personally, I believe that she will not unlock it upon hearing that Boruto has died. I personally think that Sarada will unlock it at a later time in the story. So if she does hear the news that Kawaki did kill Boruto, I think she will understand why Kawaki had to do what he had to do, because she understands the resolve to kill someone like that. So I don't think she'll unlock her Mangekyou like that, but I do want to say that she will be very, very sad. Same thing goes for Mitsuki. I know that Mitsuki does have like a will that goes through Boruto. He loves Boruto. He passionately thinks about him, kind of in a weird way, but we'll look past that for now. I don't think he will just randomly just start raging and spaz out upon hearing that Boruto has died. Of course, the two of them will definitely show a lot of emotion, basically being in disbelief and over the time despair because they couldn't really have done anything since they weren't there. And speaking of Mangekyou Sharingan, I'm not really here to discuss how and when she'll unlock it, but I do want to talk about what abilities she can attain with her Mangekyou Sharingan. So in terms of power scaling, when you look at the main contemporaries of the Boruto storyline, it is Boruto, Kawaki, Sarada, and Mitsuki. These are the main 4 characters of this storyline. At least in terms of power scaling, when you look at these 4 characters, I'm gonna be real with you, Sarada is the weakest. Boruto and Kawaki have reached a point where they're basically godlike, they're god tiers, especially with them having the Otsutsukification data downloaded onto their bodies. We know that Boruto has that true essence karma form, form from Boruto chapter 64, where he can access Momoshiki's combat experience, and on top of having the Borushiki power up. And talking about Kawaki, of course he does have a brand new karma purely used as a weapon, as well as having Ishiki Otsutsuki's dojutsu. And of course talking about Mitsuki, he does have that sage mode. So when you actually look at Sarada's contemporaries among the main cast, she is nowhere in that same league. And I don't mean to disrespect or slander Sarada, she is one of my favorite characters in Boruto, but if we're gonna keep it 1,000, she is nowhere near these people in terms of power levels. And I think the best way to bring her up is through her Sharingan, especially with her Mangekyou Sharingan. Whenever she unlocks it and how she unlocks it, that's not what I worry about. It's about what abilities she can get. In fact, I think that the way that she'll be on the level of a Boruto, Kawaki, and Mitsuki is by having a very hacks jutsu that the Mangekyou Sharingan provides. I'm sort of thinking of like a time manipulation or space manipulation, sort of like Kamui, but at an even more broken rate. Because if I'm gonna be real here, if she gets the Mangekyou Sharingan and only gets like Amaterasu, that's not really gonna do anything considering it's gonna get absorbed. I'm hoping that she gets something that's basically so broken that it puts her on that level in terms of hacks, at least. In terms of physical stats, I don't think she'll be there at all, considering that the karma seals, it basically gave Boruto and Kawaki such a ginormous boost in speed and taijutsu strength that I don't think Sarada, at least with what she can do right now, can keep up. She is very strong, she has a lot of punch power, she has great taijutsu on top of that, by the way, but I don't think with Sarada's raw speed and strength will put her on the levels of a Boruto or a Kawaki in terms of those stats. I personally believe that she won't be at that level, but I think at least in terms of hacks, if you give her an MS ability that can actually put her on par with those characters, like a boosted Kamui or the ability to rewind time, I think that could probably put her on that level. Obviously, when you unlock the Mangekyou Sharingan, you also do get the Susanoo. I think it would be pretty cool if she gets like a compressed one, sort of like body armor. We know that the Susanoo in Boruto, it is kind of useless, especially against very powerful Otsutsukis. We've seen Momoshiki basically overpower the Susanoo. Same thing goes for Jigen. He literally did a dynamic entry to Sasuke's perfect Susanoo. So whenever she gets her MS, I hope her Susanoo is used in a way where it's not just a ginormous avatar of chakra, which I personally believe that her Susanoo probably could get wrecked if you put her up against like a Kawaki, for example, who has insane power and taijutsu. I think it would be cool if she has a compressed Susanoo, sort of like body armor that protects her body in a way so her Susanoo doesn't get destroyed. I've seen a fan art of Sasuke having that. I think that'd be pretty dope for Sarada to have something like that. And at least in terms of physical stats, I've seen some people mention the Byakugo seal, which I definitely do think it's a possibility, considering that you definitely do need to store up chakra for years. If you look at how Sakura and Tsunade did it, when Sakura did it in Shippuden, she spent 3 years trying to build up chakra in her Byakugo seal, and in a way it actually did nerf her because she couldn't use 100% of her chakra. So if they do go down that route, we won't be able to see Sarada at full maximum power until she unlocks that seal. So I don't know if they're gonna do it or not. Personally, I believe that's up in the air, considering that the Byakugo seal in the manga, at least, it was hinted at being from a time of the Sage of Six Paths, so maybe the story can go down that route, but the anime did overlook it. They basically removed those lines when adapting it from the manga. So I don't know if they're gonna expand into the Byakugo seal. Maybe Sarada does get it, but at least in terms of the Mangekyou Sharingan, her ability needs to be so broken to the point where she has hacks that can rival against the likes of Boruto, Kawaki, and Mitsuki. And if she's not on that level, I do hope that she's at least around that level. But I am hoping that they do Sarada justice, considering right now is the perfect time to bring her into the plotline. I would love to see my girl actually get some screen time and do something. I know right now in terms of scaling, she does not have the power levels to fight someone like Code, of course, since she is not that strong compared to those god tiers like a Borushiki or a Kawashiki. But let me know what you think about this video in the comment section below. What Mangekyou Sharingan ability do you want Sarada to have? And make it unique, man, because all I'm saying is that I'm hoping that it puts her in a level where she's at least relative to her other main contemporaries of this story, because if it doesn't, that's gonna be a bad outlook for Sarada. And you know, I'm gonna be one of the first people to say it, man. They're doing Sarada dirty if they don't do this, because right now she's been absent for a minute, man, in terms of contributing to the main plotline. It's been a while, dude, and I'm hoping they bring her back into the storyline, and I think the perfect time is now, at least after the current battle, because we don't know what Code's gonna do. Maybe he tries to take Boruto's body and feed him to the Ten Tails, so we just have to wait and see. But let me know what you think about this video in the comment section below. And also, I did forget to mention, I think it'll also be dope if they have more genjutsu abilities. If Sarada has this crazy genjutsu power, maybe it can affect Otsutsuki like Boruto and Kawaki. I think that would be dope as well. So let me know what you think about all of that in the comment section below. So if you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe, hit the bell as well, and have a good day. Peace.